If you think of your past and it automatically triggers you and puts you in a state of defeat, trauma, depression, shame, these are all states that you may have felt back when these things were happening. These are all states that may be justified considering the circumstances. But these are also states that can cause you to vibrate at a frequency to create it again. So you don't want to think of your past and become depressed. You do not want to think of your past and feel ashamed. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the fact that you can hear my voice, the fact that you can see this video or hear this video, it means that the past don't even got nothing to do with right now. Because right now is the only thing that's important. What you're going to do with your present moment. So the best way to make the best of right now is to be in a peaceful state. And a great way to do that is to go ahead and think about your past enough to find the things that really bother you and make peace with them. Have you ever found yourself saying, thank God I don't look like what I've been through? And guess what? You also don't have to feel like what you've been through. In today's video, let's talk about how we relate to our past and how the story that we tell ourselves impacts our success. I'm your host, Shayla Ma'at. I post weekly content on personal development and transformation. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe. I invite you to become a part of the community. Check out my new podcast, the Ma'at Portal Podcast. I remember I found an older lady on Instagram, and she made an example of her story. And she told her story, and it was so sad. It had something to do with I think her mother passing away and her having a horrible marriage. Her husband left her, took her money. And, it was ups and downs all throughout her life. And she was like 85 years old. And then she posted a second video telling the same story, but in a different way. And what she did was she changed the way she relates to her past. And so I think a great part of how we can be able to shine, be confident, guilt-free and shame-free is to, number one, accept what has already happened. Understand that life is about learning from your mistakes. No one is mistake-free. And when you can accept your past, then you can begin to tell a different story and relate to it differently. This is the most powerful thing, because think about it. If you think of your past and it automatically triggers you and puts you in a state of defeat, trauma, depression, shame, these are all states that you may have felt back when these things were happening. Or these are all states that may be justified considering the circumstances. But these are also states that can cause you to vibrate at a frequency to create it again. So you don't want to think of your past and become depressed. You do not want to think of your past and feel ashamed. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the fact that you can hear my voice, the fact that you can see this video or hear this video, it means that the past don't even got nothing to do with right now. Because right now is the only thing that's important. What you're going to do with your present moment. So the best way to make the best of right now is to be in a happy, peaceful state. And a great way to do that is to go ahead and think about your past enough to find the things that really bother you and make peace with them. Change it around. I know for me, I got a hell of a story, but I'll just talk about my dad. Don't know him, never met him, and I have a void that's not really a void anymore, but just like a curiosity. I wonder who he was. Is he alive? What part what features about him do I have? There was a time where I felt like I was damaged or lacking because I don't have a relationship with my father. And that made me this character that doesn't have a father. And although this did impact my life, I have to go a step further and look back at my past and think about my childhood. And I realized that although I did not grow up with a father, guess what? Let me go ahead and buff up this story so I can feel good today and not bad about my past, and realize that I had my granddaddy. And not only did I have my granddaddy, he was the bomb. He built my grandmama's house. He was a farmer, a gardener, a preacher, a writer, a stand-up man in the community. And honestly, if I never had lacked my dad, or never, the fact that I don't know my dad, I might have never gotten to be so close to my grandfather and see what it is, because some of the things that he did for me, some of the things that he did just by being a great person, I learned from. The fact that he grew his food, that makes me want to grow my food. So you got to go into your past, go into your story and what you're telling yourself, and start to find the twists and the turns and the plot thickenings of it all to encourage yourself to feel good about where you came from, because everyone has a story, and if you're still alive, that means you have an opportunity to turn that thing on the way you want it to be. Okay, so this is just about how you are relating to your past and how you relate to your story. You have to be able to apply empathy and understanding. Although I don't like the fact that I didn't have a father in my life, I kind of understand that my mother was not prepared. I can understand now as an adult what it's like to be in a broken relationship or be a single mother. So now I can apply my understanding to it, and that helps me to not feel like my story is such a tragedy. So if you got a bad past, you made terrible decisions, and you're still alive, you need to make sure that you're utilizing your now time to reframe how you relate to your past. And it's nobody's business. You do what is best for you to make you feel good on a day-to-day, so you can show up as your best self. Don't worry about the past. The only thing you need to do is reframe how you see it and how you relate to it. If I could think of another one. I think I wasted my 20s, okay? And when I think about the past, I feel like I wasted my 20s. That was an old way of me looking at it. But now I reframe that to say, although I wasted a lot of my 20s on being insecure and being in toxic relationships, guess what? I don't know what y'all see, but I feel like I'm still looking like I'm 20, okay? So I can just go ahead and apply my beauty and my good health and not so much act like I'm 20, but, give that 20 energy, So even though I wasted my 20s, I still look like I'm 20, and that's good, and that's okay. Anyway, listen, remember, you cannot change the past, and how you feel right now is what's most important. And if there's something in your past that got you feeling some type of way, I want you to sit down with yourself. It's nobody's business. And I want you to rewrite your story. I want you to change a few things to make it where you're fine. You're okay now. So what if you came up in poverty? So what if you didn't have support? Right now, you are alive. And so you can start to build the life you want, to create the memories that will someday be the past. Because one day, right now, will be your new past. And you don't want to be relating to the past in a negative way to affect your present moment, and then you create terrible memories. You want to use your skill, your self-awareness, your mindfulness, and your concentration and imagination to go into the past, change how you relate to it so that you can thrive right now and create the memories that you want for yourself. Remember to subscribe, check out my freebies in the description, and watch this video, and I'll see you there.